My journey didn't go exactly to plan, which was actually a huge advantage to me. After a conversation, I ended up being part of a creative movement I didn't even know was happening. At first I thought it might be hard to find enough to talk about in Aberdeen, but I was very wrong and couldn't document everything I experienced on my journey. Aberdeen hasn't got a hugely positive image. Its isolated location and poor climate makes it a difficult place to live at times. Known as the Granite City, the built landscape, dominated by a sea of grey buildings, seems to have an overall negative effect on people's outlook. What should be a culturally rich city due to the oil boom just isn't. Investment in the arts has been neglected due to widely publicised council mismanagement, and there's a real feeling amongst creatives in Aberdeen that they're not supported. The refusal of a new art centre spoke volumes about the city. But if you look hard enough, as with any city, there are a number of initiatives, groups and individuals working hard to foster interest and engagement in the creative industries. The most important part of any creative landscape is the people and their activities and interactions. The people in this slide are some of the members of my direct creative network, and I've collaborated with them all at various times. They are practitioners from a variety of backgrounds and disciplines: designers, artists, illustrators, photographers and educators. They all add their own unique input to the creative makeup of the city. For my journey, I began in the setting where I spend most of my working life, a design studio in North East Scotland College. I try to encourage my students as much as possible to interact with the wider creative industries, and we often have projects in collaboration with other students and local design agencies. The next place I visited was Hatch, which is an exhibition, workshop, event and incubation space in the centre of Aberdeen. It's owned by the local art college, Grace School of Art, and run by two former students. My students recently staged a poster exhibition here and benefited hugely from the experience. The venue has a relaxed and inclusive atmosphere, accessible by all. There's a real need for these type of flexible spaces. Not only is it a blank canvas to show work on a temporary basis, but its more informal approach welcomes people who may shy away from more traditional galleries and venues. Next, I visited Peacock Visual Arts, a gallery space, printing workshop and studio. I screen print here and also occasionally teach my students the process in workshops. I believe keeping traditional art practices alive is hugely important and seriously under-championed in Aberdeen, Scotland and the UK. I also visited Design Studio Forum. This is run by my friend and former student Cameron Fraser. It's a full-service design agency with an emphasis on coding and digital work. We discussed how Aberdeen has a close creative network and there's a huge willingness to help others and collaborate. I then went on to Underdog, which is a nightclub owned by the brewery Brewdog. The venue hosts an eclectic mix of alternative creative events and activities and is a hub for local creatives to get together. I attend their Tuesday evening life drawing class, All the Young Nudes. They're a brilliant company for promoting new talent. During my walk, I spotted an artist beginning to sketch on a whitewashed door in the city centre. She explained she was a local illustrator painting a mural as part of the Artist Doors project, and we chatted about finding alternative venues for creativity. I decided to visit more of the painted doors of Aberdeen. The trail is concentrated in the city centre, but ventures down back alleys and side streets you wouldn't usually have a need to access. I love the interactive aspect of this project and how it allows you to explore the city on another level. The initiative was started to add colour to the city and has grown and grown in the past few months. This project reminded me of the scheme I was involved with last year called Play Me I'm Yours. Pianos were donated by members of the public and decorated by artists, designers and students. My students loved seeing their artwork in full public view, and it taught them that art has no boundaries in regards to format. The artist I met also told me about a street art festival which was happening in a few days' time. New Art is a council initiative which will see local, national and international artists create artworks of various mediums and scales across the city. As the work would be in progress, I decided to take another walk in a few days' time. This is a fantastic opportunity for Aberdeen to encourage engagement with alternative creative mediums and include all members of society. There was a real buzz around the city with workshops, talks, events, and many became involved with the festival mantra to reclaim the streets of Aberdeen. The festival is designed as not only a one-off event, but a starting point to encourage others to carry on and change the landscape of Aberdeen in similar ways. Seeing work like this inspires people and challenges the conventions of more traditional art forms, and many side projects have begun to happen. I donated some of my artwork to the project, and it will be hidden around Aberdeen during the festival. Interacting with this project let me engage with some brilliant street artists and hear the stories behind their artworks. Being part of these activities is essential to me as a creative to share and engage with others. So what makes Aberdeen unique to me? Well, it's the creative network's willingness to collaborate with a shared aim to put Aberdeen in a better creative position, recognised further afield. It has some fabulous resources that are often underused and underfunded, but there's a great energy around to try and combat this. My journey started with the greyness of Aberdeen, and over the course a new, more colourful landscape emerged. As with my walk, speaking to people and getting involved will bring you a new appreciation for your environment, and collaboration can take you places you never knew existed.